Hey everybody, welcome to the show. My name is Stacy Goodrich and my company is called So Connected. And this show is all about mental strength. And I'm a mental strength coach and I work with people to align themselves and to connect their mind to their body. Do you guys ever feel like your mind and your body are not on the same page? Do you ever feel like you're overthinking everything? Uh, I want people to have some solutions and some simple strategies and some tools to be able to connect their mind to their body and be able to perform into their potential. So that's what this show is all about. Today, I'm going to focus on overthinking. And so I'm going to introduce an intentional phrase of the week. And do you guys ever feel like you're overthinking everything? Do people tell you you're overthinking it? Do you know you're an overthinker? And I wish I could tell you to just stop overthinking it and that would work, but that doesn't work. And typically, overthinking is just your mind focusing on what you don't want to have happen. And so, our intentional phrase of the week is give your mind a job to do, or it will create its own job. So, give your mind a job. Think about what you want to be doing. Because if we don't give our mind a job to do, it'll create its own job and it won't be helpful. And so think about this week how your mind is spinning and focus on what you want to be doing. Focus on how you want to do what you're move your body. Focus on what you're doing in the moment. And that can give your mind a job so it doesn't create its own. And that will eliminate a lot of the overthinking that you've got going on. So today I'm also really excited because I'm going to bring on Kinsley White and her mother, Heather. So we're going to talk about, what moms are seeing with their kids that are mentally struggling as parents, and we're going to get her perspective, and we're also going to get Kinsley's perspective, who is a competitive snowboarder. So if we could bring them on, that would be great, and I'll introduce them for you. Hi, Kinsley.
Hi.
Hi, Heather.
Hello.
Well, thank you guys for being here. First of all,
Thank you for
Kinsley,
having us.
tell us where you are.
I'm in New Zealand right now for a training camp.
Which is amazing that we can do this and you're in New Zealand.
Hi, Kinsley.
Yeah.
Hi.
Because when's the last time you guys saw each other?
About a week ago.
I've been here. Yeah.
And is it going well out there, Kinsley?
Yes. I mean, we've had some bad weather days, so that's kind of been a bummer, but it's been fun. I've had fun here.
Yeah, what a cool place to be to train,
Yes.
right?
Yes, it's amazing here.
Now, okay, so Heather, now
Yeah.
you contacted me. I can't remember how long ago we started, but when you first were looking for something for Kinsley, what was going on for you back then? What were you seeing? I think it's helpful for moms to, I mean, we can all relate to you when you're talking about what was going on.
Well, I first found you, I think it was on Facebook, and I must have been searching mental training or something because then it popped up on my Facebook. And I've been following you probably for much longer than we've been chatting. But I mean, your page had so much information from other athletes' parents, from athletes, from you. And I guess what I always search with Kinsley is, and I have another athlete, I was younger soccer player, but it's a little different with a team sport and an individual sport, I'm finding. But I think Kinsley is one of the hardest workers, and she puts in the most effort of, I mean, in everything she does. So when she's struggling with something, I see it's hard for her because she always does her best. She always, does really well at a lot of things. But when she struggles with it as a parent, I just want to help her and give her some solutions. So, but when I first really, contacted you, it was just, sometimes she's having really great training periods, and other times, she's struggling, and I don't even have to say anything to, as a parent, she struggles more on her own, like she beats herself up more than, I trying to like, it's okay, Kinsley, it's okay. So
Yes, exactly. I think that, as a mom, and I have 4 kids, and I hear you about the different, every child has their own way of going about things, and different sports can impact them. But I think the mental side is interesting because it's not, I remember my daughter came home and she was like, Mom, Sarah asked me to do a back walk over in the high beam and I couldn't do it. And at the time I was like, that's okay. Don't worry about it. You'll figure it out. And she was like, that's not going to work.
mm-hmm.
And so we know when it's different. We know when it's not a physical thing. And I think that that's where we then don't know what to say, because anything we say then can add to the problem,
Yeah.
And so, Kinsley, do you remember when we first started? Do you remember what was going on mentally for you that caused you to struggle?
Well, I think the year before I started seeing you, I had the worst competition season ever. I usually am able to pull myself together and land a competition run. And this one year, I had a new trick that I wanted to do because I knew it would help me do well, but I never landed it. So I was just ranked so low. Every competition, I was just kind of expected myself to fall. Like, I was like, I know what's going to happen. I'm just going to fall anyway. So I know that's why I started talking with you at the beginning, because I wanted to get out of that, or I needed to get out of that. I couldn't expect myself to fall every competition, because that's when it counts. That's when I need to land. So,
And I think, in the beginning of the show, overthinking, right? We it would be great if I could just tell you to be confident and not worry about it, and
yes.
just don't think about that. And I wish that worked, because we would all be perfectly confident all the time if that worked. But when we have that in our, what I call in our A circle, that's going to control us. And if we're thinking, our unconscious mind doesn't understand the not, so if I'm thinking about, when you go to a football game, when they say don't fumble, that's what happens. It's because our mind doesn't think about positive or negative. It's just thinking about what we're bringing to us or what we're thinking about. And so
Yeah.
then how do you manage that? How do you, get around that? And for you, what was helpful? Do you remember what we did, or do you remember a situation where all of a sudden you were able to manage something better for you? Do you have an experience of that?
I remember something that went through my head just when I was training. There would be some runs where I would chicken on my tricks, like intentionally. Like, if I had a thought in my head before I dropped in, like, maybe I just shouldn't do it right now. I remember talking to you about this, and you were like, control what's in your A circle. That thought doesn't need to be in your A circle. So ever since then, every time I get a thought like that, instead of chickening on it, I decided to think about it. And why would I chicken? I've been doing them runs before, it's been fine, and try to kick it out and just do it.
And that I don't think that people know that there are options.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I'm teaching people the strategies, you can just kick that out and just do it. A lot of, athletes love the doing strategy because they don't necessarily want their mind involved at all, because it can have a negative thought instead of a positive one. But the learning strategy also gives people the ability to connect their mind with their body in the moment. How do I want to do it? What do I need to do? And so the fact that you had options to manage yourself in that situation, because I don't tell people what to do, right? It's not my job to tell you what to do. It's more about giving you some options so that in any situation you have a way to manage yourself and a way to be successful.
Yeah.
And that's so great. Now I love your sport because explain a little bit about how this works. You have like runs where you do tricks and you do different things. Can you just explain it a little bit?
So for me, I'm a half pipe rider. So each run, like in a competition, we usually get 2, and then if there's a finals after, it would be another 2 runs. And we get about 5 to 6 hits in the half pipe, like going up and down and up and down. And so we have to line up 6 tricks. So if you mess up on one, it's pretty much over. There's no like, you could do 5 hits perfectly, and the 6th hit, you fall, your run's over. Like, it doesn't matter what you did before. And that's pretty much how it's organized. Like,
So I can see why before we met, there were, if you had an opportunity to not do a skill because you were worried about falling on that, I can see why that was the strategy you went with, because you didn't want to fall.
yeah.
When you do them now, what are you focusing on, or what is your mindset when you're doing all your runs? Like, what's working for you?
Usually I have to take each trick like one step at a time. I know before I used to just focus on the hard trick, and it was like, okay, if I need to get this because it was the hardest one, and I'd forget about the rest. So then I would end up maybe messing an easier trick up that I should have every day. So I think for me, what I try to do is like break down my snowboarding and each trick and focus on certain things for certain tricks, because I can't just think about one. It's a whole run. So I need to get it all good.
And Heather, what did you notice when she was working with me? Did you notice anything? I think parents sometimes athletes can take a step forward and a few steps back, when they're learning and working with these strategies. And I always try to tell parents kind of what to expect. Do you remember kind of what you saw with her when we first started working?
I'm not, she is kind of keeps all her thoughts to herself a lot of the time. I can read her sometimes when, she'll say things to me, but I do know when I did contact you, when she was struggling after that, she just had, I don't know if she was less, she came out of being like, you didn't see the worriness in her or the stress, the anxiety that she had. And I think she just had more confidence in herself. Like, okay, I mean, she knows she can do these tricks. She does them in practice over and over and over again. But like she says, the 1 year, she really, for some reason, struggled during competitions, which wasn't like her. She usually, in competitions, that's where she could pull out the trick, or even if she was struggling with it in practice, she would pull it out in the competition. So for that 1 year, she would come down in tears, and I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do as a parent, because I know she can do it. And you don't want to say, oh, it's no big deal, because yes, it is a big deal. She worked so hard for this, but I know after she had the 3 sessions with you at the beginning, her writing, I mean, it did turn around. She felt more confident, and she was getting results that she wanted. So it was definitely positive. And I, try to encourage her more, like, let's meet with Stacy. Stacy.
And athletes are like, I'm fine. I got it.
Yeah. And so she knows herself, and I see mental training. Some people see it as like, oh, something's wrong with me, but I see such a positive thing, especially in a sport like hers, where, and it's, you know, it's dangerous. It is a dangerous sport. And a lot of it is mental.
Mhm.
And so that's why I was telling her, you train hours and hours and hours a day on the snow. You also need to, you know, train mentally, because that's where a lot of your writing is coming from. So, I mean, she definitely has the skills to do it. And, you know, and that's where I thought, if you work with someone, you know.
And I think that's such a good point, Heather, because, you know, when people are not performing in their potential, and when you know that they can do that as a parent, that's exactly where people can connect with us, right? There's always a solution for anything going on mentally that anybody, not just an athlete, but that they're experiencing. And that's what I want to get out. I want people to know that there are solutions to some of these things, these limiting beliefs or these ideas that sabotaging mentality, lacking confidence, um, you know, balking thing, all of those things are a mental disconnect, and there's always a solution for that. Um, and I know for you, Kinsley, um, I think we saw each other, was it like last year sometime when we did the first 3 sessions?
Yes, I think it was. I remember, I think it was
About this time.
March. Was it?
I think that's when you started, because I think it
It
was
was right before a competition, so I think it was in like February or March or February.
not before December competitions.
No.
Oh,
And Kinsley, so, and then I was looking for somebody to help me with my TikTok videos
Mm-hmm.
and YouTube, and your mom connected with me. And my question for you is, since you've been working with me a little bit now over time, is there anything that you've learned by, you know, anything that you can share that you've learned just by connecting with me more often? Anything that you can take with you or that you've used over time?
I think just by watching the TikTok videos that you send me, I feel like I'm getting a mental training session. I mean, hearing about the videos about bullies when they're just reflecting their ugliness onto you, like that stuff stands out to me. I think I watch these videos before I go snowboarding because I'm out in New Zealand right now and I'm snowboarding every day. So I make sure I just go back on your TikTok and I watch all of them, and it's just a refresher. I feel like I'm able to clear my head after watching these TikToks, or I find which one relates more to me one day. Like, I know lately I've been struggling, the half pipe hasn't been very good. So I beat myself up because I'm like, I should be doing my tricks. I should be doing better right now, but I can't because it's hard to ride this half pipe here. But so I just try to go back and watch your videos to make myself feel better and give me some ideas of what I need to put in my head to get through these tough times.
and Stacy, I was just telling my husband, Kinsley's dad, I was like, oh my gosh, she, you know, she'll send me the TikToks, or I'll see them on Instagram or Facebook. And I was like, this job is perfect for her, because she's getting mental training while she's editing and, you know, uploading. And the one that really stuck with me is your one about, you know, what people think about you, you know, thinking, you know, sometimes Kinsley's like, well, what if I fall? Everyone's falling out there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the best of the best are falling, you know?
Well, and I think, was that the one, Kinsley, where I was talking about my son and he came home and he's all worried about his speech?
Yes.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
said, I was like, nobody cares about you when you're doing your speech because they're all thinking about their own stuff.
Yes, that was a good one.
Yeah, I was like, don't worry about it. Nobody's thinking about you. Like, nobody cares about you.
Yeah, and it's funny because my coach tells me the exact same thing. He'll tell me when we have to do like drills that look, it makes us look like we don't know how to snowboard, but it's good for us because it helps us with our bigger tricks. And he's like, Don't say that you care about what these people are going to think about you. They're worrying about themselves. They don't care about what you're doing. They're not watching you. Don't be selfish like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you've really, I didn't do any TikTok before I met you. And I really, they're just those minute things that we can really, put out there and give people a little bit of something different to think about. And so I really appreciate your work with me on that. And
thank you. Your TikTok is so beneficial to people who see them.
Mm-hmm.
well, and people can get a hold of me through TikTok. I don't know what do you know what it is? We'll put it on this. We'll have to put it up when we're done here. And then also I have a group on Facebook if people are interested to look at more of what we're doing. It's called Athletes Who Settle for More. That's been the group that I started about 5 years ago that has been really great, in my opinion, just to put information out there for people to understand what this is and how they can, learn more about it and maybe then work with us to help their athletes or families and all kinds of different situations. But thank you guys so much for being here with me. And
Thank you.
Kinsley, thanks. And Heather, thanks so much for giving her my information about the TikTok, because it's been just fantastic. And I appreciate that. And I look forward to working with you guys even more.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having us.
And even if, the biggest thing, like for Kinsley before, when she wasn't necessarily ready to do one-on-one training yet with mental training, I said, go follow her, at least see what she posts. So that's so beneficial. So thank you.
Oh, great. That's good to know. Yeah, I want people to, like I say to my son, it's not about you, it's not about me. What can I put out there to give some kind of value for people, so that they know that they can see it from a different perspective and hopefully use that. And that's what this show's about too. So I'm really proud of that.
Yes, thank you. You're very helpful.
Well, thanks, you guys. We'll see you next time. Kinsley, I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, everybody. I just want to finish today's show. Thank you so much, Kinsley, and her mom, Heather, for being with me. But I just want you guys to take away, think about being intentional about your thoughts. Basically, we can decide to let our situations control us, or we can decide to control our thoughts and control our own situations. And so being intentional in the moment creates a powerful mindset forever. So focus on what you want to be doing. Think about it that way. And I will see you on the next show. Thank you so much for being here. Take care. Have a good day.